Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Close human contacts of a horse at West Wallsend diagnosed with a potentially deadly Hendra virus are being assessed by New South Wales Health. A private vet made the diagnosis in the 7-year-old unvaccinated Clydesdale, which has since been confirmed by health authorities. The virus spreads from flying foxes to horses, but can also be passed on to humans. The case is the furthest south a positive test has been located. Hunter police are appealing for information after 3 teenage girls went missing on Wednesday. They say Phoebe Robards and Mackenzie Walker, aged 14 and 15, were last seen leaving their Singleton school on Wednesday. They were both wearing St Catherine's Catholic School uniforms. They're also asking for help to find 15-year-old Tia, who went missing from her Thornton home on Wednesday night. She's been in contact with her family but hasn't returned. Hunter residents thinking about dumping unwanted waste are being urged to stop and think about the consequences. The Rural Fire Service is issuing a plea asking people not to illegally dump items as they cause a hindrance to emergency efforts. Inspector Glenn Burns says any delay getting to an emergency can mean life or death.
On the point of illegal dumping, there are a number of issues, and one of those is the illegal dumping of material, whether it's building waste, general waste. When we're responding to fires, we need to get there in a reasonable hurry because we might be protecting somebody's home.
Outspoken former independent Newcastle councillor Aaron Buman has failed to win pre-selection for the Liberal Party in the upcoming local government election. He put his hand up to run in Ward 1, but party officials have decided not to endorse him, preferring instead to select local businessman and president of the Australian Liberal Students' Federation, Blake Keating, as their lead candidate in the ward. The competition watchdog has launched an investigation into the sale of a Newcastle grain terminal. Cube Logistics paid $90 million for Newcastle Agri Terminal last month, and the ACCC says it wasn't given enough time and information to assess the transaction, which raises concerns about competition in the supply chain for bulk grain in the Port of Newcastle. A recent report found 40% of Australians regularly feel lonely, with Hunter residents being encouraged to reach out to family and friends to check in during these tough times. In light of the findings revealed in the Talking Loneliness report, Telstra is donating 100,000 hours to tackle loneliness, with tools and resources for people feeling lonely available on the Telstra website. Matt Smithson from the telco says the age group perceived as being the most lonely isn't who society expects.
Our research found that 60% of Australians just assume that people aged 65 and above are the loneliest group in their community. But what our report has highlighted is that millennials and Gen Z are actually the loneliest age group in society, and they're the most likely to be too embarrassed to talk about it.
2NURFM Sport.
Hunter basketballer Katie Ebsery has called time on her career after 305 WNBL matches and 2 Olympic Games. The 31-year-old has been a regular in Australia's national team since 2014, winning gold at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Ebsery has told NBN she plans on transitioning full-time into PE teaching after balancing her career with study in recent years.
I was lucky enough through playing at Sydney Uni, I was able to study as well and get something behind me, and it just makes this kind of period of transition a little easier.
The Jets have announced Port of Newcastle will be the major sponsor for both the A-League men and women's sides for the next 3 seasons. Club CEO Shane Matisky says having the same major backer for both sides will go a long way to achieving equality. Merriweather surfer Jackson Baker has moved on to the round of 16 at the qualifying surf event in Portugal, and Hunter cricket veteran Steve Mace has been chosen to represent Australia in the over 50 side set to take on New Zealand in February. And the winning numbers in Powerball are 13, 18, 25, 27, 29, 34 and 4, and the Powerball number is 13. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.